not only have you had an amazing professional career, but you're also a huge advocate for yourself in your personal career and your family. You have a beautiful daughter that just started first grade. So, again, you're juggling all those things like we are with back to school, but you went through a pretty traumatic experience getting pregnant. And I mean, I want people to understand that it's not just you've had this rosy, everything's unicorns and rainbows all the time, because I think sometimes when they see successful women, they think, oh, you had it easy. Never really is like that in true reality. So you had gone through a very difficult pregnancy. So talk a little bit about how you went through that and what you did for yourself and your family to make sure that you got the best results.
Yeah. And I share this all the time. Nothing is as glamorous as it might look on social media. And I always do my absolute best to just share the real and raw of what's actually going on, because I have found that by sharing, it helps so many other people see that, like, oh, I experiencing that too. And going back to like how things end up coming back full circle, I shared my journey going through my complicated infertility journey and then my even more complicated pregnancy journey. And I started sharing because I wanted other people to see, like, you're not alone. Like, I'm going through this. This is really hard. What ended up happening was women that I connected with through social media helped me get access or find the right doctors, the right resources as I was going through everything. And my 6-year-old Molly Hope would not be on this earth if it were not through the incredible community and women that I connected with through social media. Like, she is here because of social media, which is just wild, right? So, life is hard. Business is hard. It's all I'm not one of those people that has had anything easy, unfortunately. I always try to think, I'm like, has anything ever been easy? I'm like, no, I have just worked really hard for everything. I feel like it's like when the hard things happen, like there's some good luck involved. It's like, because it's like all the worst possible thing. And then I'll like somehow get that good ending eventually. But it's all been really hard, but I've just learned so much through all of the challenges that I have faced over the years. And the biggest thing is that, you are your own best advocate, and no one is going to advocate for you better than yourself. But in times of like hard trauma, and like when we went through our very complicated journey, having Molly, I was basically in a state of trauma for like 6 months managing the whole pregnancy. And I always say, like, running a business prepared me for a complicated pregnancy and fertility journey. And then that then prepared me for like everything now in our later chapters of running a business, and everything is just like connected. But if you have not been advocating for yourself, talk to other people who've learned how to do it so you can learn, what skills and what things they had to practice to get there, because we're all going to go through really hard things in life. And the time to start to learn how to advocate is right now, because the only way to get through is to be direct and make your way through by sharing what you want. Because at the end of the day, and I share this with so many people with, I had some incredible doctors going through our complicated pregnancy journey. And a lot of it was just reframing and like mindset reframes of, instead of being like angry at doctors who would share certain things with me, I like changed my reframe. And I worked with an amazing therapist who taught me this, is that doctors are only doing the best they can do with the knowledge and information that they have, but sometimes they don't have all of the knowledge and information. And it's up to us to find that information. Although it would be nice if we didn't have to, but it's up to us to do it. It's our body. And we just need that strength to be able to then go to that doctor and share and feel like we can have a conversation with our doctors. And there's a lot of doctors out there. And the most important thing is that you need to feel comfortable that you can actually have an honest conversation with your doctor. And if you can't, and they're not open to it, then they're not the right doctor for you.
That's so interesting you say that. Being in healthcare my whole career, I tell people all the time, you can ask one question to 10 doctors and you'll get 20 different responses. And so I think the old school mentality was, oh, well, I got to stay with this doctor because, that's who I've always been with. And I tell people, physicians are just like anyone else. If they don't bring the level of personalization that you want and or you vibe with, it's not the right person. Go find someone else. And I think we get stuck in old habits and we choose to stay with them, even though we know it's not the best.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, when I was going through my fertility journey, again, I was in this, even going through my fertility journey, I was paralyzed in the beginning where I put the first doctor I was working with like up on this pedestal. Like, this is the answer to me having a family. I have to do whatever they say and follow their, protocol. And I just remember even the feeling in my body. I was so scared because it's all that I wanted. And I was used to being able to like build a business and have control over things. But when you go through an infertility journey, like, you only have control over a certain amount of things. There are a lot of things you can control when you get educated and you start learning everything, but there's a lot that you can't. But what you can control is the doctor that you choose to work with, and can you have that really great relationship and feel comfortable with them? And like, doctors work for you. You want it to be collaborative. You want to feel really good in that environment. And I'm talking all confidently like this right now after having gone through everything, but I can tell everyone this is not how I was in the beginning going through. It was by going through the journey and learning and the trauma and learning from other people and having conversations with so many women. That is why you hear me sound so assertive and passionate about this right now. But if you are feeling like how I was initially, like just paralyzed and don't know how to ask the questions, like, you're not alone. And it's okay. And you can get through. Just surround yourself with other people who have been through it before and who will talk to you and will help guide you through.